American artists have seen the depravities of war, the advancement of technology, the oppression of slavery and racism, and the industrialization of the United States. These landmarks, paintings, and photographs have shown the reaction to the wealth and poverty of the United States. Timothy Sullivan's A Harvest of Death, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, July 1863, presents us wants of freedom and wastes of war. The poverty of life is presented clearly in front of us, while the wealth is veiled behind the gun and gunpowder manufacturers. The title of the piece is ironic because as many companies harvest crops for wealth and sustenance, the war produced a large crop of bodies to be harvested and mourned by family and friends. With the technology at the time, photographs were uncommon. This real portrayal of casualties was very daunting and leaves little room for imagination. Winslow Homer's painting Snap the Whip depicts the barefoot children playing games, holding their hands in unison with subtle tension. After the Civil War, people migrated to cities to produce the necessary wealth needed to survive in the ever-changing world. The barefoot children symbolize freedom and a life that is slowly fading to memory. The innocence of playful children is in opposition of the capitalist society America was becoming. This painting invokes nostalgia to the farmers who had to give up their old lifestyle to adapt to the new America. In 1928, Walter P. Chrysler, a founder of Chrysler Corporation, decided to increase its popularity and commissioned William Van Allen to design the world's tallest skyscraper at the time, the Chrysler Building. From that moment, the Chrysler Building became not only one of the tallest and finest Art Deco skyscrapers in New York, but a symbol of America's modernity and wealth. The Art Deco facade of this 1,048 feet tall structure also exemplified the innovation and power of the United States in the 1920s with its gargoyles, shiny crown, and bourgeois complexion. Everyday activities have also changed as well for both economic classes. One of the last remnants of days past is Grant Wood's American Gothic. It is a window into the lifestyle of Midwest America in the 1930s. These two people stand firmly, apparently rejecting the incoming progress that is sweeping the great nation. This picture immortalizes a demographic that just isn't cut out for this rapidly changing modern America. During the late 1920s and early 1930s, many families suffered economically and psychologically due to the 1929 stock market crash. Migrant mother, Dorothea Lange's photo, shows the suffering that mother had to endure due to the lack of financial backing and the opportunity to improve her living conditions. This photograph captures the crude and the hardship of the Great Depression, presenting children looking miserable and in need. John and Washington Roebling helped design the Brooklyn Bridge in New York City from 1867 to 1883. This was an amazing feat of accomplishment, showing us how massive amounts of wealth contributed to the progression of technology. The bridge was a feat of technology due to the fact that suspension bridges were never made on such a grand scale with deep piers. The bridge shows the wealth that was needed to fund a large project. The bridge shows how American architecture has progressed. During the 1950s and early 1960s, America experienced a time of great economic prosperity. Andy Warhol and many other artists commented on the wealth in America through their art. In the early 1960s, Andy Warhol's Campbell's soup cans emerged into American culture. It represented how everything during this time was a commodity. The repetition of Campbell's soup cans in Warhol's piece demonstrates how commercial that brand is to everyone. Because America was so prosperous and wealthy at the time, consumer products like the Campbell's soup cans were in a surplus in stores. David Hammond's installation Higher Goals, one of his many and most important commissions to the African American community in Harlem and in Brooklyn, unveiled a new idea of young African Americans that success was possible through basketball, not school. The 40-feet-high basketball hoops, decorated with bottle caps representing wind chimes or spirit chasers, resemble the Native American totem poles, a sacred item which reminds us of their identity and purpose. This landscape project expressed a not-realistic and almost impossible idea young African Americans held about sports and their link to social and economic success in America at the time. In the late 1980s, consumption and wealth exceedingly expanded in America. In reaction to this progress, art of Jeff Koons began making art pieces purely as commodity goods for consumption. In reaction to the popularity as one celebrity, in 1988, Koons produced the sculpture Michael Jackson in Bubbles. This sculpture signified the production of art as commodity. Koons did not draw or design this art piece, but merely chose the design and had it factory produced by workers. The wealth in America allowed artists like Koons to become mechanized, like America itself. Koons wanted to remind America that art was just as much merchandise as any other product. He used his own artwork to demonstrate this idea by making them into goods to be purchased. Today, a television is a staple in any American household, and it was no different in 1995 when Namjik Pike created his installation called Electronic Superhighway Continental US. Reaffirming the prevalence of television in American society, this piece shows just how far the everyday man has come from the days of Grant Wood. America is television, according to Pike. America has been reduced from a once great hard-working nation into a nation full of dependent, lazy drones. The history of America has been portrayed through mediums of stone, paint, photograph, sculpture, and machinery. These mediums have shown the low poverties of war while also showing the great wealth that progressed technology. Through paint and sculpture, we realize the postmodern modification and industrialization of the nation. We see the waste of war and the wants of freedom. We see the poverty that ensued because of the Great Depression and the wealth that has acquired to make the Chrysler Building.